All right, can everyone on the Zoom hear me? Hi. All right, so I'm just going to continue to let people into the call. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Luke is very excited for his town hall. Just a couple reminders, we are recording this so that we can then post it on our website and share with folks who were unable to attend tonight. And if throughout the chat anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them into the Zoom chat and I will make sure they get asked. For those people in the room, we'll also go through and allow you guys to ask questions if you have them. So without further ado, we will hand this over to Luke.
Thank you, Lindsay. Excited to be here. Hello, Silver Bay community. Welcome to my second town hall. In case you didn't notice, there's a theme here, me cooking in front of a fireplace, just trying to really set a nice sweaty tone. So, I want to start off on a little more serious note because I tend to devolve from there. It is with deep sadness that we share the news of Peter Dolliver's passing on March 6th. We give thanks for his life and the many ways he touched our community with kindness, compassion, and his spirit. His impact will be felt for many years. I truly respected working with the man, and it's not overstating it to say that I call him a mentor. So, rest in peace, Peter. On that choked up note, Spiritual Life is offering a grief care support group that is starting on Tuesdays, March 24th from 6:30 to 7:30 in the dance studio. This is open to the public, it is free, it will go until May. We did this last year and it was very well received. There are a lot of people going through their own battles and this is an opportunity for them to process. So we're very excited to see that come back and to support the people that need it. On a little more upbeat note, Lindsay is putting together a little task force committee.
Can you hold it up a little bit? People are just having a hard time.
Apologies. That is significantly louder, so probably do the job. So Lindsay is excited to be kicking off a 125 anniversary for Silver Bay. To anyone keeping count, that's next year, not this year. But we're going to make it into a really big community and property-wide ordeal. It's going to be a lot of fun. There is a committee put together, including some former staff, EMS, community members, guests, and we really want to see what we can do to engage all of these parties in a way that is going to really shout out Silver Bay, not just for the last 125, but for the next. On the note of excited and things led by Lindsay and her team, group sales update, she's, as she would say, killing it. For 2026, we're currently sitting 42% higher year to date for the end of March compared to 2025. That's massive. We have continued making steps and strides to try and put ourselves on a good financial path, and nothing says better financial path than money signed in ink. But more important than even the financial piece is some of these are groups that are coming back that used to stay with us, that used to trust us to be their gathering for a yearly meeting or for more. And seeing them come back is really helping reinvigorate some of the summertime spirit. Fun fact breakdown for sales. Conferences make up 65% of our group business. Weddings make up 18%, which is kind of exciting because a couple of years ago that would have been single digits. And reunions make up about 15%. We're seeing so much business come in that wants to come to Silver Bay that Lindsay's team is just working their way through it. It is a very good place to be and we're excited to see where we can go with it. Sliding over to some programmatic information, Chet and his team are going to be offering a welcome back membership discount. If you haven't been a member for 2+ years or have never been a member, you are eligible for a discount up to 50%. We have heard our membership talking about we have heard our membership talking about how too many people don't know how amazing Silver Bay is. And they get a little scared looking at the year-long commitment to come and try our membership, but they would do it if they could just get a discounted rate. And we've navigated this, and we are making the commitment to a up to 50% discount. We think that this will bring people in. It is a trial price, but unlike the Planet Fitnesses of the world that lock you in forever until you have to give your left hand to get out of the contract, this is just a part of our regular, this is your year trial. Next year it will be regular priced. We're excited to bring in new parties to be experiencing what is amazing about Silver Bay. April 17th to 19th, we're featuring Artisans Weekend for our second year. This specialty weekend provides unique activities, sessions, and workshops in the arts. When registering, you can select your own schedule in advance, customize your experience. You could go as few as one activity, or you can make it a full weekend's worth of options. And if you book a full weekend's worth of options, there are discounts for lodging and meals. Check it out. It was really successful last year. Madeline and the team did a wonderful job with it, and we're excited to see what we can do to grow it in this year and future years. Moving for Better Balance, pardon me, is a movement class that we started doing about 6-ish weeks ago up in Ticonderoga. We've been running it out of our Ticonderoga Early Learning Center in the gymnasium, and it is doing great. We are finding we're getting good engagement from the Ticonderoga community. We think that ultimately this is going to help grow our presence and the people that care about Silver Bay, but more than that, we're helping people that have a need now. You know, people that are aging that could use a little bit better flexibility or want to bounce back a little bit faster. Doing things such as this movement for better balance will help you in your long-term health. We do have a new session that will be registering soon, and you can contact Sam Buell to register. On that note, sometimes we can't commit for long periods of time, and these classes can be up to 12 weeks. When you're coming to visit Silver Bay, there will be some standalone classes, things that when you're here, you can just sort of drop into and make sure that you're being your best self. Kind of fun and exciting down towards the archery range, there will be a slingshot course this summer. It is similar but different rules, but a little bit of fun when it comes down to it. It is facilitated, and there are sessions that can be booked privately for a moderate fee. You know, if you have a family reunion you want to have a little fun with, or if a conference wants to sort of say, hey, this is a team building activity, let's go have some fun, reach out. This is something that the staff and a few of the whole community were very excited to see coming. Pickleball is here. Anyone that doesn't know, you've had your earmuffs on for a couple of years now. And we're developing a league format as well as a tournament schedule for the summer. We have been doing tennis exhibition for years, and while we will continue doing those, we're also looking at adding on some pickleball exhibition and seeing what we can do to really help grow the energy around the rackets. Silver Camp registration is open. Spaces are filling up fast, and we're very excited to see people thrilled to get here this summer. Last year we were rolling out Ultra Camp for the first time, and it was a little bit bumpy this time of year when we were trying to get things where we wanted to be, as it is with any new software. But this year people are logging in seamlessly, and we're getting where we want it to be. The Early Learning Center is doing well. The enrollment is slowly climbing. We're at around 30 kids. We still want to see that keep climbing up in a slow and moderate way, but we're finding that it really is, it's doing what it needs to for the community, and it's doing what we need to for getting back on youth development. It's been huge being able to work our way in there. We might dive into it a little bit later, talking about some of the various volunteering options. Making a shift over to food service, our Dining Around the World has been very successful as we've been operating out of Mountain View Grill. We've welcomed over 400 guests since the beginning of the year. As a frame of reference, this same time of year last year, where we were just operating the, what I would say, moderately successful Mountain View Grill, was 67 guests. So we are very pleased with the enthusiasm that's been coming. Beyond that, we've had 55% of the people that have joined us be first-time diners with Mountain View Grill. That's huge. That means people are finding out that we have something to offer them. They're driving in from Hague, Ticonderoga, or Bolton Landing, compared to just the smaller local community that might have been popping in previously. Very excited and very proud of the team, the culinary team led by Chef John, that put out a new menu each week that ranged from Italy to South Africa to India. I'm still raving over the blueberry sauce on the duck that was from French Week. It was outstanding. On a less enthusiastic note, April is going to pause our Mountain View Grub. We need the time for our team to sort of recover and gather for the summer. We have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe, and modifications to menus. Bites at the Bay will be reopening. Seafood nights will be returning. There will be little tweaks here and there to try to make sure we're meeting the need and able to keep up with the various increases in business, but we're really thrilled to see the way some of this is coming together. The Silver Bay store will be offering food, pizza-focused menu, but there will be some other options out of there. And of course, the dining hall. We've been revisiting our meals and dining program to try and add a little bit of creativity and flair to it. You know, it is a standard meal package that comes with the dining, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Happy Hour and a Half will return this summer. We have received nothing but positive feedback from it. One of the things that we started playing around with a little bit in the fall was some of the happy hour and a halves were focused out of William Boyd instead of out of Burkaw, and it sort of flowed out onto that front patio. It was a nice space and layout, so keep an eye out. We will make sure that it's consistent, so it'll be advertised ahead, but come check it out. It's a great opportunity. Yes, Lindsay, I will speak up a little. So next, on to the lounge at Fisher. So Fisher Lounge and Cafe has been something that has been here since well before I got here, but it really hasn't got off the ground to any sort of meaningful direction. What a lot of people don't know is it's also the home of our liquor license that serves any events in the boathouse or the field or anything on that side of the road. As a result, we are going to be offering some evening beverages for after dinner. Some evenings that will have a focus where kids can go into the gymnasium with some program-led options. Some of them are going to be focusing more on an adult evening, seeing what we can do to really help grow some of the more adult programming that, frankly, we're seeing is out there. People have really enjoyed the small areas that we've tested, the occasional cocktail or mocktail, depending on your preference, and are just looking for that little bit of a different experience. Mother's Day brunch will be returning this year on May 10th in the William Boyd Dining Hall from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we are excited to be transitioning to lodging. Sorry, couldn't read my notes for a second there. We're excited to be transitioning to our cottages. So cottages, reservations. These last couple of years that I've been here, we've been looking at the systems because there was a complaint. We can't book. We call, we leave messages, we aren't getting service. Your website is confusing. I want a cottage, I know what I want, I know when I want it, why can't I get it? So Steve and Deb and the guest services team have been working really hard to make these cottages as available as possible. So now you can book them online. Now you will, if there's availability, there's a rate posted. They won't become available until after the cottage lottery is done, so you're looking 2 years out. But this will also allow for you, if you're just thinking about, you know what, maybe I'd like to go up for the summer. What cottage always book early, what can I do? Well, let's check and see what's there. This also brings our booking back in-house. While Airbnb is great for getting out there to parties that might not know about us, if you already know about Silver Bay and you already know about our cottages, it's great if we can just take care of you ourselves instead of sending you somewhere else. The last update from the guest services side is also kind of a food service, guest service combo. So this year, the team has rolled out some in-room amenities that you can add on. Let's say you're booking to come up for a weekend and, oh, look, just after you picked the inn with, a nice lake view, I happen to like red wine. So I can add a bottle of red wine. Oh, but I'd also really like a charcuterie board. And it comes fresh out of the kitchen, prepared, ready to go. It's a really nice experience. The people that have got to be part of the testing while we were putting together the charcuterie boards and dessert options were very enthused. And we're already seeing some of these sell because people were interested in just adding them onto their online package. Segueing away from the guest services side, staffing. So we have 81 year-round staff currently. We have 8 open positions, nothing that is overly on fire, just part of our general rotation and or where we've added to the team as our business has continued to expand year-round. More exciting is our summer seasonal staff. So we hire 136 summer seasonal staff. We already have 88 hired. This is ahead of where we typically expect to be at this time of year. We are feeling pretty good about our conversations, and I dive into this because I've had questions. The H-2Bs, the J-1s, our international staff, they're all checking out and seem to be on track for a properly timed arrival. Our LT team, we're working and communicating with them on a regular basis to try and get some of their team back here. And just our regular summer employees, we're excited. We've got applications flowing in, and we are really excited to make sure that this summer is staffed up for a great year. Walt wouldn't forgive me if I didn't mention a record year for unrestricted giving in 2025. We hit over $2.1 million for our annual fund. $2.1 million, that is thanks to all of you. Thank you so much for showing your support for Silver Bay as we continue to try to invest in the various pieces of this property to put it here for many years to come. It's an old property. She's an amazing piece, but she needs a little bit of love. And thank you for all of you that gave. On the development front, Bayview, you'll be seeing more information on this develop in the next couple of months, so keep your eyes on your inboxes. Right now we're having some one-on-one conversations with parties that are interested in being donors to help us kickstart the campaign. But I would expect there will be a lot more announcements coming soon. A couple of facilities updates include the ramp to the boathouse that I discussed in the last town hall has been submitted to the town for permit. There's some minor boxes that need to be checked, but we're excited to see that progressing along and the contractor is moving. Slim Point permit, likewise, is also submitted. We are excited to see that moving. You know, to get everything in the local town, or approved with the local town's comprehensive plan in mind is key, because if we support them and put things forward, they'll support us. What we're doing here is great for the long-term future of Hague and Silver Bay, so we're not anticipating there being any pushback.
I think it's just your 5-minute reminder, if you could just open up a little more.
Did I make it 5 minutes before you reminded me?
You're doing great though, really.
I'm sure there's going to have to be a transcript sent out based on the number of times Lindsay's reminded me to lift the mic up. And the last facilities one is Fisher Gymnasium. So we have signed the contract with the contractor to be starting the insulating process for Fisher Gymnasium. For this phase of the improvement, we will be insulating the walls, the floor, and the ceiling roof, all while maintaining the historic aesthetic for the building and not giving up its charm. We're very excited for this as we will be seeing the timeline sort of roll out over the course of the next week, but I would anticipate it's going to be about a 2.5-month project. But with the consideration that the contractors are giving it, trying to keep spaces open where they can. So they're not just going to shut the building down for 2.5 months. There will be consideration to, okay, now we're going to work on this part of the gymnasium, let's keep the other one open. Let's try and see what we can do to minimize the impact on the people that are using the spaces currently. There will be more updates coming out from Chet as we have that information and timeline solidified, but we are very excited to see this going. Phase 2 will be, once we can raise the funds for it, include the actual HVAC unit to make this heated and cooled appropriately. But from phase 1, we already have the money secured through a grant, and we want to make sure we move on. I am going to segue to Noni McPherson. Noni is part of our board of trustees. Noni.
Thank you. Good evening. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. I'm very pleased to announce the new members of the Board of Trustees at Silver Bay. We have diverse experience, but a common passion for ensuring that Silver Bay thrives for many generations to come. So there are 4 of us, including myself. The first is John Hartley from Durango, Colorado, who brings experience in marketing and client services in the medical industry as well as hospitality. He was the race director for the Hague North County Triathlon. He and his family spend their summers here and recently were in the M Show. Kim McCullough is from McLean, Virginia. She brings extensive experience in nonprofit development. She previously served on the Silver Bay Board of Directors and worked for years managing the development office. She knows Silver Bay as a place of personal renewal and intergenerational connection. Jacqueline Rogan is from Forest Hills, New Jersey. She brings experience as an attorney as well as technology consultant. She served on the executive committee of a Queens public school supporting youth education and community engagement. She discovered Silver Bay in 2019 with her family, and it has since become her spiritual home. We also have Natalie Schatz from Alexandria, Virginia, who brings experience in administration, human resources, and marketing. She currently serves as the Director of Administration and Human Resources at a nonprofit think tank in Washington, D.C. She's been an active Silver Bay Council member since 1995, including 6 years as president. And last but not least, I bring experience as a strategic insights leader with various companies, translating insights into growth strategies and brand transformation. My volunteer experience includes I'm on the board of directors of Continua Arts, which is a music arts organization. My husband Bruce and I moved to Silver Bay in 2024. We own a home here and we moved from Summit, New Jersey. We've been thrilled to get involved in this community. For the past year, I've been teaching at the Early Learning Center. I teach the toddlers and the pre-K classes music, and it's a joy. So I encourage anyone to get involved with that. And I've also been supporting the chapel services with special music and the children's message. So please join me in welcoming the class of 2028.
Thank you, Noni. Another update from our board, if we can get the toggle just right. Melissa Adams talking about our CEO search update.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. Great. So it's great to be with everybody tonight and share this update that our posting for a permanent Silver Bay CEO is now out in the public. It's on the YMCA website as well as a number of other job boards, both local and national, as well as through LinkedIn and other sources. Our plan right now is to accept applications through about April 10th, and then we will proceed to additional interviews and research on those applicants with finalists on the Silver Bay campus targeted for early June. And we hope to have our next permanent CEO on board by the end of August. If anybody has questions, also we have an email address related to the search. So if you have questions or you want to forward a link to a qualified candidate, that Gmail address is silverbay ceosearch@gmail.com. So again, it's any questions anybody has, I'm happy to answer them now, but if something comes up Subsequently, you can reach out to us at silverbayceosearch@gmail.com.
Thank you, Melissa. Does anyone have any questions while we're on the call for Melissa? And again, if not, I did put the email address in the chat for those of you who, if you have questions after. If anyone has any questions, you can put it in the chat, or anyone in the room, if you have any questions. No one in the room has a question yet. Okay. Melissa, if one comes in, I'll be sure to save it, and we can also come back to the questions just in case.
On that note, thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Noni. It's always good to hear from our board, and excited to see things moving along. Moving on to the Q&A session for this evening's town hall. Do we have any questions, Lindsay?
I just love the transitions that I can see on the screen. So we do have one question to start. An individual just was hoping we could bring up and chat through reinstating the community-wide lanyard badges. That it helps people to feel like it's an open, friendly campus, and their thought was children could be exempt. So if you want to touch on that.
So I appreciate this being brought up, especially because it didn't make my actual report, so thank you for the reminder. We are bringing back the lanyard badges for membership. It is not specifically for our hotel and cottage guests, it is for membership. It is part of that process. When we were initially looking at making the changes, most of the changes were actually focused around the guests and people that were coming to stay at Silver Bay briefly, comparatively speaking to the people that are here for the summer that are enjoying the courts and beaches in that longer stretch and capacity. For those reasons, as well as based on a lot of feedback, Peter Dahlberg and I were already working on trying to come up with some systems, and thanks to Chet and his team, we have some nice checks and balances that will help protect the membership from people sort of dropping in on it, but also allow us to continue with the wristbands for the hotel guests. So, thank you.
I'm giving folks online a chance to type out any questions if they have them. Does anyone in the room have a question for them? Not yet. Well, then I'll take this time while people are thinking of their questions, I do want to thank Talia Perrier and Aaron Walker, who are behind the scenes here managing all of the 3 different camera setups, recordings, the various microphones and transitions. So I just want to give a chance to shout them out while we wait for some questions. People are clapping. We can give it another minute. I don't see any questions coming in yet. Okay. Give it another second. I don't see any questions, so if you would like to close out the meeting.
Well, you guys really put me through the questions in the December town hall, so I appreciate you taking it easy on me tonight. That said, if you think of anything after the fact, don't be afraid to reach out and email me, lcallahan@silverbay.org. I'm happy to touch base, whether it is via email, a call, or you want to stop in and we can chat. I'm going to do what I can to make myself available and, frankly, to get to know all of you a little bit better.
I did put your email in the chat as well, just so you know, and folks are saying great job on covering everything. A question came in.
Here we go.
So someone did ask a question. There was talk last year about refurbishing Hepburn. Is there any news on that?
So, good question. I would be remiss if we got through a session without talking about Hepburn, because honestly it's such a cool building. Hepburn was listed as one of the 7 to save last year by New York State, And frankly, it is something that we need to continue to keep a priority on the horizon. Heparin is going to require a lot of love. And as a result, it is not the next project we're focusing on. The next project we're focusing on is the Bayview Capital Campaign. Based on evaluations done by a national company named Grow, Bayview will give us our best bang for our buck, so to speak, and it will be a massive improvement for the property right away. After we complete that, then the next group of buildings that we'll be looking to approach are more historic buildings, which include Heparin, Sunnyside, and addressing some of the inn that, while it is a gorgeous building that hasn't been quite as put off as Heparin, still has some amenities that need to be brought up to modern standards.
Okay, got more.
We've had two more come in. One individual was asking if the state funds have come in for the Early Learning Center.
Excellent question. So we have seen some of the money start to trickle in. It has helped ease the burden on our good friends and partners in fundraising, Northern Lake George Foundation, who has been helping us fundraise to keep these kids enrolled in daycare. New York State came up short for their budget, for anyone that is unfamiliar with the topic, and as a result, we would have had to cut these kids loose and send them home to their families, where somebody would have had to leave a job instead of just being able to keep things moving. We started last year by scholarshiping and fundraising ourselves, but the Northern Lake George Foundation stepped up, stepped forward, and has been helping us not only raise funds for those kids, but also to make connections to various youth development grants and just be part of that community. So has it trickled open? Yes. Is it where we need it to be? Not yet. It's showing good promise, and the governor is showing a commitment to youth development. Frankly, they don't need to pass any bills for this part of the budget just to be funded appropriately. It just needs to have the money designated for it. So we're confident that it's headed in the right direction, and that based on the Northern Lake George Foundation helping us, we're going to be able to see this through. That said, if anything changes, again, we'll keep our eyes on it and make sure that we're on the right track.
Okay, we've had a couple other questions come in. The first one, are there plans to install benches along the path to the Irk?
It's a great question. I have no idea. I will go so far as to say that there are potential plans for this entire property. There are plans around the tennis courts, there are plans around the Irk, there are plans going down Slim Point. I've seen plans for in front of the auditorium. There's not currently any plans about benches going in front or going down towards the Irk. That said, if you are interested in donating and dedicating a bench, then please reach out to our development office for either Walt Lender or Karen Ryan, and we'll discuss what you're looking for.
Will the exterior of Sunnyside be cleaned up for the summer? Last summer, there was a garden growing off the porch.
Well, those were my vegetables, so for that, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're trying to make a better dedication to the grounds in general. Our team works really hard to keep up on it, and Mike and the maintenance team really, they get into it. You know, they are managing a lot of property and a lot of grounds, and sometimes it rains too much, sometimes it rains too little, which we experienced both of last year, which made it very difficult for us to specifically target and prioritize the entirety of the campus. But going into this season, we are confident in being able to keep up on it. We applied some additional systems, and we have looked at trying to add an additional body that will help us keep it on track.
Could you just go back over some of the Slim Point renovation information?
Absolutely. So we got a donation for Slim Point to be renovated. Now, when I say renovated, it's really more of a landscape renovation as a whole. Anyone that has been down there in June knows that it holds water like you wouldn't believe. This includes raising the grade a moderate amount just so that it doesn't stay underwater for 2 weeks after it rains. It includes a path that is stone dust, which will allow for wheelchair access to get down to the point. It includes the pavilion getting a new roof. It includes the cracked and broken concrete underneath it being replaced, which we're currently looking at doing with some pavers or granite stone options. The bigger effect for it is actually going to be the plants that are down there and some of the trees are intrusive. They're invasive. They're not supposed to be, they're not part of the local habitat and ecosystem. We believe that we've got, while working with Tony DeFranco and DeFranco Landscaping, that we're going to be able to get that cleaned up in a considerable way that is going to allow it to be beautiful down there and really shine, whether you're here for the beach, going for a walk, or planning a wedding, but also make it sustainable and environmentally friendly.
Does anyone in the room have a question? I'm just giving the folks online another chance to ask. I did just send out another, if you have a question, let me know. Got one.
Honestly, guys, I appreciate there being some questions. I was getting a little scared.
Well, folks did say you did a good job covering different topics. So, our family is planning to all gather at Silver Bay in early August. Oh, just thanks for providing a place for us. You're welcome.
It's my pleasure. I look forward to hosting it.
Just giving it another second.
And again, folks, don't be afraid to reach out because there's going to be other things you think of. There's going to be other topics that pop up, whether you're talking with family or talking with friends. There's no way I could possibly cover every topic or everything that we have going on here. So, shoot an email, pop in and say hello, make a phone call. I want to make sure that you feel confident in the way that Silver Bay's going because we've got so many things going on.
All right, we do have another question. It's a two-parter. Will the ballet be back? And how about the play?
Well, excellent questions. The play is something that I probably should have brought up specifically. So we are looking to put on a play again this year. It was so successful last year. It was so well received by the community that it made it very clear that while we hadn't had one in recent times, certainly to that success level if at all, it should be a priority. We have posted the job for the director for the play, and currently we are left a little wanting. So if anyone out there has a friend or family that's interested in applying, reach out, because we'd really like to see this become a regular thing every year, and we can't do that without the right person at the helm. We were very fortunate to have some amazing volunteers last year, Jocelyn, and family and friends, amongst others, but we can't do this without somebody really grabbing it by the horns and seeing it through. So if you see anybody that is even a little bit theater-oriented, send them our way. We're interested. The ballet is coming back. We are very excited to be hosting them again. It's a fun and favorite program every summer.
An individual had a recommendation. It would be nice to bring back announcements during meals, during family conference, like they've done in the past.
This is something that is on our radar. We had previously tried to accommodate this at the concierge desk because it was meant to allow the information to all be available without it being intrusive on people's meal times. That said, you're not the first person to make the request, so we're exploring it as an option.
We'll just give it one more second to see if any questions come through online. Thank you all so far for your participation and for joining us this evening. Give it one more second. There's so many camera angles. No questions at this time, so we'd like to wrap it up. Okay.
Thank you, folks. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. Again, don't be afraid to reach out, and I guess that's a wrap. Thank you.